Broadcasting live from the Meridics VOBS Studio Broadcast Center at Fordyce Center in Bellevue. This is GNASH Hockey on the Middle Tennessee Sports Network. It's the nightcap of our doubleheader, and this game got just a bit bigger. Ensworth beating Station Camp 6-3. Ensworth jumped back into the top 8. This game is Hendersonville versus Indy, so Indy cannot jump back into the top 8 tonight because of the Ensworth win. Because if they win, it would take them to 10 points with a record of 4-4-2. Nolensville, who have a record of 4-3-2, have already played and beaten Indy, even though Nolensville are leading Brentwood 1-0 right now. Actually, now it's 2-0 up at Centennial. In a game that would send Brentwood into the Henry Hine Cup. So, yeah. This game just got a little bit more important with that Ensworth win. And all of a sudden, I'm wondering, will 7 wins actually be enough to get you into, will 14 points actually be enough to get you into the Preds Cup if Ensworth come roaring back? So let's check the standings with, 3 of tonight's games in the books. Franklin and Page Summit finished in a 4-4 tie. MBA beat Clarksville 8-0. Clarksville out of the GNASH Cup race now. And Ensworth-Lipscomb CPA beat Station Camp Liberty Creek Nashville Christian 6-3. So Station Camp still leading GNASH now at 8-2-0. Ravenwood 7-1-1. MBA, Franklin, and Page Summit all 6-2-2. MBA and Franklin have tied each other. Franklin and Page have tied each other. MBA and Page have not played each other yet. They don't play each other until the first night back after the holidays, January 5th. Father Ryan 6-4-0. Ensworth and Hendersonville both 5-3-1. Nolensville 4-3-2. Independence 3-4-2. Mount Juliet and Clarksville both 3-7-0. Clarksville should be ahead of Mount Juliet because they beat them back in October. JB2 2-5-2. The Outlaws 2-6-1. Rutherford 1-8-1. And Brentwood BAUSN 0-8-1. And again, it is 2-0 Nolensville over Brentwood. If Nolensville hang on and win that game, Brentwood will be playing in the Hine Cup come February. Yeah, come February. Or come the postseason, because I don't know if the Hine Cup is going to start in January, if it'll start in early February. I'm not sure. They're planning on January 28th being the first night of playoffs, and I imagine they'll want to do one tournament's whole first round on that night, maybe 3 games that night, and then another game on Thursday the 29th. Anyway, we've also got Rutherford and Father Ryan should be starting in a few minutes on Rink A at Centennial. All right, let's talk about the 2 teams playing our nightcap. First up, Hendersonville-Beech-Lawson, coached by Seth Lake. As we look over the results of their last 5 games, I wonder if they corrected all those goals from Wednesday night. I might have to look here. There were some that they were showing were still incorrect. Yeah. They did the 4th goal they gave it. Tyler Ellis scored the 3rd goal. They say the 3rd goal was scored by Caleb Karlatz. That's not true. It was Tyler Ellis. And the goal that made it 4-1 was scored by Merrick Mott. They're giving that to Tyler Ellis. That's not correct. So, yeah, everything else is right. I don't even think Tyler Ellis was on the ice for that Merrick Mott goal. But, yeah, let's look over the results. We're going to look over the results of their last 5 games dating back to, let me check here. Also check and make sure that, I've got a recording going. Took that down by mistake. Let's see. All right, their last 5 games dating back to October 27th when they lost 2-1 to Station Camp. A week later, November 3rd, they lost 5-3 to Page. November 10th, they beat Brentwood 7-5. November 17th, the 6-6 tie with Ensworth, where they were down 6-1 early in the second and came all the way back. And then the 11-4 win over the Outlaws last Wednesday. So here are the stats. Caden Sisko, the leading scorer, with 17 points from 7 goals and 10 assists. Landon Croft with 15 points from 9 goals and 6 assists. Matthew Almeida with 12 points from 4 goals and 8 assists. It says Caleb Karlatz 11 points from 7 goals and 4 assists. That should be 10 points from 6 goals and 4 assists. Gideon Drobnik 10 points from 4 goals and 6 assists. Merrick Mott should have 10 points from 5 goals and 5 assists. Braden Rose, 4 points from 3 goals and an assist. Brian Wilkinson, 4 points from 2 goals and 2 assists. Caleb Priest with 3 points from 3 assists. Nicholas Hobman with 2 points from goals. Tyler Ellis with 2 points. It should say 1 point from a goal. I don't know if he actually has an assist because he didn't have an assist on that quote-unquote Caleb Carlance goal. He actually scored it. Britton Smith with 2 points from a goal and an assist. Christian Dickens, 2 points from assist. Kellen Fisher and Sully Hyatt and Alex Williams. Well, I think Kellen Fisher and Sully Hyatt each have a point from an assist. I don't know about it. I don't think Alex Williams was on the ice for that Merrick Mott goal. On a goalie play, Griffin Rumbaugh has played in 6 games. 5 of those were starts. His record 2-3-1. He's played 231 minutes, goals against average of 3.64, 1 shutout. He's allowed 20 goals on 135 shots, turned away the other 115. His save percentage in the regular season so far is .852. Justin Smith has played in 4 games. 3 of those were starts. His record 2-0-0. He's played 102 minutes, goals against average of 4.53, no shutouts. He's allowed 11 goals and 72 shots, turned away the other 61. His save percentage in the regular season so far is .847. Cade Garrett played in 1 game, which was a start. That was the Brentwood game. Hendersonville won, so his record 1-0-0. Played the full 42 minutes, allowed 5 goals on 24 shots, turned away the other 19. Save percentage in the regular season so far is .792, goals against average of 5. On to Independence Summit, coached by Mark Lane, who's suspended for tonight. We'll talk more about that in a second. Results of their last 5 games here, dating back to October 29th when they lost to Clarksville 5-2. Then they lost 3-2 to Mount Juliet on November 3rd, lost 4-1 to Station Camp on November 10th, tied a JP2 4-4 on November 19th, and then last Monday the big 5-4 win over Ravenwood. So let's look at their stats coming into tonight. Aiden Gardner, the team's leading scorer, he has 12 points from 9 goals and 3 assists. Harrington Walker, 8 points from 4 goals and 4 assists. Nick Kloss, 8 points from 2 goals and 6 assists. Cash Brannion and Bryson Patton each with 4 points from 2 goals and 2 assists. Spencer Pachalko with 3 points from 2 goals and an assist. Owen Broughton, Tate Butcher each with 2 points from a goal and an assist. Avery Azaminia, 2 points from assist. George Logazar, a point from a goal. Caleb Mills and Easton Romano, a point from a goal. Josh Bourne and Oscar Dubon each with a point from an assist. Let's move on to goalie play. David Busby has played in 8 games. All those were starts. His record 3-3-1. He's played 332 minutes. Goals against average of 2.78. 1 shutout. He's allowed 22 goals and 202 shots. Turned away the other 200. His save percentage in the regular season so far is .891. Clive Neal has played in 1 game. That was a start. That was the game against Mount Juliet, which Indy lost. So his record 0-1-0. Played the full 42 minutes. Allowed 3 goals and 20 shots. Turned away the other 17. His save percentage in the regular season so far is .850, and his goals against average is 3 even. So at the end of the Indy Ravenwood game last Monday night, as we're ready for the start of this one, David Busby in goal for Indy. Looks like Griffin Rumbaugh in goal for Hendersonville for this first period. Indy will carry the puck from my left to right. No one's going from my right to left. At the end of that game, there were some fights at the buzzer, and we have 3 players and a coach suspended for this game. As Henderson dumped the puck into the Indy zone off the draw. And I'll read off those suspensions. Here's Aiden Gardner, who was actually one of the players called for fighting, but I guess they looked back at the tape and determined he wasn't. But he's still on the game sheet from last week's game as getting a major in a game for fighting. Nick Kloss at the right point just held the puck on the line and sent it to the left wing corner. Now, Spencer Pachalko tried to put it out in front, and now it's back in the Indy zone. Nick Kloss passing it up the near side to Aiden Gardner. Gardner back in the Hendersonville zone on the right wing side. Tried to pass it down low. That went off the stick of Caleb Carlance. Matthew Almeida passing it off to Landon Croft. Croft at center, crosses the red line, dumps it into the Indy zone. Puck sent around the boards to the near side. Held in by Merrick Mott. Mott with a shot, stopped by Busby, closed the 5-hole. Kloss behind his own net. Puck sent to the near side boards. Puck out on the near side. At center, and Braden Rose. Puck got away from him, went back into the Indy zone, immediately cleared out. Now Mott with it again, brings it back into the Indy zone on the left wing side. Tries to pass across to Nicholas Hobman, but that was broken up. Here's Caleb Carlance, a shot in the left circle off the glove of Busby. Puck out in front. Now it's going into the right wing corner. Trying to clear it out. Held in Hoffman. Right circle, a shot. Stopped by Busby into his chest. Puck out at center, Christian Dickens. Ahead to Merrick Mott. Now Matthew Almeida will send it back into the Indy zone. It's behind the net. Busby will leave it for Oscar Dubon. Puck passed up the near side, away from Aiden Garner, off his stick into the Hendersonville zone, so no icing. He was past the red line as well. Now Nicholas Hoffman. Passing to the far side, Matthew Almeida. Past the red line, into the Indy zone on the right wing side. Almeida around the back of the net, backhands it out in front. Getting off a shot is Tyler Ellis. I think it was blocked by the skates of Dubon. Now listen to come racing down to get off that shot. Now the puck back in the Hendersonville zone. Matthew Almeida skating away from Avery Azaminia. Of course, the last time we saw Indy was when they beat Page Summit 6-2, and then they went on a 5-game winless streak as Hendersonville ended up icing the puck. 5-game winless streak bookended by 2 ties and 3 straight losses. Now, Owen Cash Branyan are suspended tonight for tonight's game for getting in a major and a game for fighting. Wilson Heap is suspended for leaving the bench to join an altercation. And Mark Lane is suspended for tonight's game because Indy got exactly 12 penalties in that game last week. They got like 8 across the first 2 periods. Draw one by Hendersonville. Alex Williams brings it into the Indy zone. Tries to send it to the front of the net for Caden Lewis to get to. But Caden Lewis took a shoulder check and couldn't get to the puck. Puck out at center. Now it's back in the Indy zone. That's back in the Hendersonville end on the right wing corner. Caleb Carlance will bring it out to center. Carlance pushes it through 2 Indy defenders, but Nick Kloss gets to it and backhands it away from him as he tried to catch back up to it. Puck stays in the zone. Caden Cisco couldn't keep it in. It's cleared out. It's back in the Hendersonville end. Tracked down by Brandon Flugel. Now Caden Cisco back into the Indy zone on the right wing side. Oh, but he left the puck behind him. Now Avery Azaminia in her own zone. Backhands it around to the near side. Landon Croft in the left circle, a shot gloved and held on to by David Busby. 9:46 to go on the first, no goals on the board. And somebody for Indy is wearing a white Junior Pred sweater with a number 1 taped on it in electrical tape. I may have to find out who that is. It's now 3-0 Nolensville over Brentwood. Draw was to the right of Busby. Indy win it, bring it out to center, but taken back by Hendersonville. Braden Rose backhands it back into the Indy zone. It's in the left wing corner. Puck sent around to the far side. Bryson Patton will clear it out. Braden Rose tracks it right down, and it's brought right back in by Nicholas Hoffman. Hoffman sends it past the net. Actually, it would have gone past the net to the right of Busby. He tapped it over into the left wing corner to his right. Matthew Almeida keeping the puck alive. Trying to spin away from Avery Azaminia. Puck past the slot, went off a Indy skate in front and behind Nick Hoffman. Back the other way goes Harrington Walker into the Hendersonville zone. He's double teamed. Puck gets away from him, comes down the slot where it's stopped and covered up. It's Justin Smith in goal for Hendersonville, actually. 9 minutes to go in the first, and it's still zip-zip. So who is wearing? Father Ryan already leading Rutherford Rampage 2-0. If Nolensville beat Brentwood, Ryan beat the Rampage and Hendersonville beat or tie with Indy, then the Rampage will be off to the Henry Hine Cup for the postseason. Draws to the right of Smith. Hendersonville will clear it down ice on the far side. This could go for an icing. Nope, waved off. Caught up to by Nick Kloss, fired around the boards to the near side. Puck behind the net. And backhanded out by Nick Kloss. Aiden Gardner back in the Hendersonville zone on the right wing side. Had the puck taken off him. Cleared to center. Sent back the other way by Easton Romano. Hendersonville with it behind their own net. Passed across to the far side. Caleb Carlance at center, and it tapped away, but given right to Sullivan Hyatt, who brings it back into the Indy zone, tries to put it in front. It comes back to him, and then he puts it behind the net. He was trying to get it over to Britton Smith. Went off a Centennial player, Christian Diggins, from the left point, passing to the bottom right circle. Caleb Carlance a shot. Stopped. Gets the rebound, trying to stuff it in. Blocked well on the goal line by Nick Kloss. Now brought out in front again. Another shot stopped by Busby. There's going to be a penalty against against Indy, though. Hendersonville net is empty. It's going to be a roughing call against the Eagles. And it's against Aiden Gardner. Josh Bourne is wearing number 1 for Indy. He's listed as number 10. Yeah, 10 on the roster that I've got. So 7:42 to go in the first. No goals on the board. Hendersonville get the first power play. Draws to the left of Busby. Busby having to adjust his leg pads, and now he's ready for the face-off. To his left. Won by Hendersonville. Matthew Almeida at the left point. Backhands it down the left wing to Caden Cisco. Back up top to Almeida. Almeida back to Cisco. Across to the right wing side. And Caleb Priest. Now back across. Cisco, a shot. Bottom of the left circle. I think it may have hit off the outside of the post to Busby's right. He may have gotten a piece of it. Now put out in front for Landon Croft, one-timer. Score! Gideon Dromnick from the inboards, passing it out to the left circle. And Croft with a one-timer. And the puck ends up in the bottom left corner of the net. And it's convert the power play. 7:15 to go in the first. Draw one by Indy. Harrington Walker. Passing it off. Aiden Gardner's shot from the top of the left circle. Blocked.
Very close. It's a good game.
Was blocked, and now out at center with it, Nick Kloss. Oh, fumbled it. Brought back into the Indy zone, and a shot from Matthew Almeida on the slot. Gloved and held on to by Busby. Kloss with a bad turnover, and David Busby bails him out with a glove save. Draw me to Busby's left. One by Indy. They clear it out of the zone. It's sliding back into the Hendersonville end, picked up by Caleb Carlance. Carlance brings it back to center. Back into the Indy zone, hands it off to Braden Rose. Shot in the top of the slot, over the net. Busby may have gotten a piece of it with a stick handle as it went over. Puck back to center up, and there's going to be a penalty against Hendersonville. Braden Rose knocking down Aiden Gardner in front of the Indy bench. No, they're going to send Gardner to the box. Are they going to send them both? Yeah, it's going to be coincidentals. Cross-check against Rose. Roughing, cross-check against Gardner, roughing against Rose. 6:29 to go in the first. Hendersonville up 1-0. It'll stay 5-on-5. Draw's going to be right at center ice. And Indy with it. Harrington Walker, left wing side of the Hendersonville zone. Put behind the net. And Hendersonville with it. Sent back into the Indy zone. It's on the far side near the right wing corner. Puck came out in front. Unable to get a stick on it was Landon Croft. Harrington Walker brings it to center. Walker. Oh, offside. Oliver Weedman had gone over the blue line and was trying to get back on side when Walker brought the puck in. So that brings about the whistle. Draw will be on the dot in front of the bleachers across from the Hendersonville bench at center. Won by the Eagles. Oh, but Spencer Pachalko has it stolen inside the Hendersonville zone. Matthew Almeida ahead to Landon Croft. Croft, left wing side of the Indy zone. A shot blocked by a back-checking Tate Butcher. Passed out to the Slaughters. Matthew Almeida, shot missed the net. I think did Busby get a piece of it or did it miss? I don't know. Pass back to the slot. Almeida shot stopped and held on to by Busby. Almeida shooting from the high slot. 5:38 to go in the first to 1-0 Hendersonville. It's now 3-0 Father Ryan over the Rampage. Draw one by Hendersonville, but Indy trying to get it out of the zone. It's held in. Caden Cisco moving to the left circle. A shot off the mask of Busby. Cisco comes out to the right wing side behind the net. Takes a shot. Just misses the net to Busby's right. Puck goes out to center. Almeida will track it down. Almeida ahead to Drobnik. Gideon Drobnik brings it back into the Indy zone on the right wing side. Rounded defender. Backhands it in front. Oh, but Cisco couldn't get a stick on it. It went off a skate and went behind him. Harrington Walker through center. Back into the Hendersonville zone. Gets off a backhander. Stopped by Justin Smith. They score on the rebound. Smith with the initial save. But Walker got to the rebound and puts it in. I don't know what Hendersonville are arguing about. Are they saying it didn't go in? Wow, they're saying it didn't go in. It looked to me like it went in. Well, they're going to drop the puck to the right of Smith. That's a big break for Hendersonville. I don't know what the reason for striking the goal off was. But that's a big break for Hendersonville. Here's Tyler Ellis at center. Oh, offside. Alex Williams went into the zone before Ellis brought the puck in. Draw be on the dot in front of the Indy bench. Won by Indy, but given away to Hendersonville. Here's Caleb Carlance back into the Indy zone. Had the puck knocked off his stick, poked off his stick as he was trying to cut in. Now it's sent back into the Hendersonville zone down the near side. Carlance grabs it and races to center. God, he's fast. Carlance weaves his way back into the Indy zone. Got up a shot that was deflected by the stick of Nick Kloss across the front of the net and passed it to the left of Busby. Jill Traw back into the Hendersonville zone, gives it away to Caden Lewis. Now Alex Williams on the near side. Passes it back to the far side. Nobody in black sweaters there. Jill Traw trying to back in it to the front of the net. She's beaten to it. And, Matthew Almeida lost it, gave it away to Bryson Patton, trying to bring it out of the zone. Patton with a shot in the left circle, knocked away by Smith. Puck out on the far side, now passed across to Sullivan Hyatt, back into the Indy zone. Passes across, Matthew Almeida, back across Hyatt. What a save by Busby! Had the net wide open, but he put down the stick and denied Sully Hyatt a goal. Wow! Now the puck behind the Indy net, put out in front, intercepted. It's out at center. Hyatt passed across to Almeida, went back across to Hyatt, and the net wide open. Busby dove out, put down the stick, and made the save. Puck back in the Indy zone. Shot in the right boards off the stick handle of Busby. And now Britton Smith trying to put it in front for Merrick Mott. It missed him. Puck all the way back out on the far side. Kept in the zone by Hendersonville for a moment. Now brought back out by Avery Azaminia, but then given away to Britton Smith and sent back the other way. Mott at center, trying to pass to the far side, intercepted by Avery Azaminia, and then poke. Correction, that's Oscar Dubon. Oscar Dubon, not Avery Azaminia. What number is Avery? She wears 37 now. She's not number 30. Sorry, Oscar, for calling you a girl. Puck sent back into the Indy zone. It's in the left wing corner. Merrick Mott puts it out in front for Landon Croft. Went off his skates. He's got control of it. Bottom left circle. Comes out in front. A shot. I think it was either blocked or stopped by Busby. I'm not sure. Now Mott puts it out in front. Croft a one-timer from the bottom of the left circle. Stopped by Busby. And the puck is sliding through center back into the Hendersonville zone. Caleb Priest is going to get there. Passes it up the near side. Now it's brought off the stick of Mott back in the Indy zone. Clearing attempt intercepted. Nick Hoffman could not get around the defender, Easton Romano. Puck comes on goal. Stopped and covered up by David Busby. 1:41 to go in the first. Still 1-0 Hendersonville. And I still want to know why that Harrington Walker goal was waved off. Draws to the left of Busby. Won by Indy and cleared out. All the way down to the Hendersonville net. Just Parlance passed ahead to Gideon Drobnik at center. Drobnik. Is it taken away by Nick Kloss at center? Kloss brings it back into the Hendersonville zone, but then gives it away. And cleared out by the Commandos. Gideon Drobnik, left wing side of the Indy zone, passes across to the right wing side. Landon Croft, a shot, score! Croft with a shot from the top of the right circle, through the legs of Busby into the back of the net. And he's got both of Hendersonville's goals, and it's 2-0 Commandos with 72 seconds to go in the first. It's now 4-0 Nolensville over Brentwood in the third. So it looks like Brentwood are going to lose this game, and they will be playing in the Henry Hine Cup for the third straight year come the postseason. Draw one by Hendersonville. And now Harrington Walker with it back in the Hendersonville zone. Has to go around the back of the net. Passes up to the left point, Oscar Dubon. He'll send it back off the near side boards, but it comes right to Gideon Drobnik. Now, here's a shot from Caden Cisco, left circle of the Indy zone, stopped and covered up by David Busby. We're inside the final minute, well inside the final minute of the first. 38.9 seconds to go in the first period. 2-0 Hendersonville. Draw was to the right of Busby. Won by Indian, clear down ice. No icing. Justin Smith will leave it in the left wing corner. 30 seconds left in the period. Caleb Priest with a puck for Hendersonville. Hands it off to Caden Lewis, who could not get around Aiden Gardner. Sent the other way by Carson Denning, but intercepted by Priest. And now brought back into the Hendersonville zone offside by Aiden Gardner. Easton Romano had gone over the line with 11.1 seconds to go in the period. Draw on the dot in front of the Hendersonville bench. Won by the Commandos. Matthew Almeida through center into the Indy zone on the left wing side. Puck poked away by Nick Kloss, and a shot in front, a shot to the front of the net blocked. Blocked in front by Kloss, and that is it for the first. Landon Croft scoring twice for Hendersonville-Beech-Lawson. And they lead Independence-Centennial 2-0 at the end of one. I'll be back in a few seconds for the start of the second period, but if you're listening on the YouTube podcast, we're going to go ahead and send you to the start of the second. Ready for the start of the second period. Justin Smith still in goal for Hendersonville-Beech-Lawson. David Busby still in goal for Independence-Centennial for this second period. Hendersonville will carry the puck from my left to right. Indy from my right to left. Second period is underway. Hendersonville win the draw. Here's Matthew Almeida. Bringing it into the Indy zone on the left wing side. Through defenders, taking a shot in the left circle. Misses the net to the left of Busby. Caleb Priest holds it in at the right point. Trying to pass across, went off the skate of Oliver Weedman. Nobody with real control yet. Nicholas Hoffman with it now going towards the right wing corner. Now Hoffman passing out towards the blue line. Almeida holds it in, backhands it down the left wing boards. Comes around to the near side. Caleb Priest holding it in at the right point. Whiffing on a shot attempt, gets past the defender Spencer Pachalko. Merrick Mott picks up the puck. Mott for the slot, a shot stopped by Busby. Backhanded rebound in the bottom left circle, and Nick Hoffman over the net. Now Aiden Gardner back in the Hendersonville zone on the left wing side to the front of the net. Stopped by Smith. Puck cleared out by the Commandos. Indy making a line change. Here is Nick Kloss back into the Hendersonville zone on the right wing side. Puck in the right wing corner. Kloss. Well, puck cleared out by Hendersonville. Trickles back into the Indy zone. Braden Rose gets to it on the far side, but can't keep it in his stick. Harrington Walker passing it up the near side. Nick Kloss, left wing side of the Hendersonville zone. High slot of shot, steered away, sticked away by Smith. Pass attempt, centering pass attempt went off of Matthew Almeida and out of the zone. Here's Kloss. Now Drobnik taking the puck, bringing it out to center. Back into the act. Actually, nope. Poked off his stick right at the blue line by Harrington Walker. It's back in the Hendersonville zone. Here's Gideon Drobnik. Clearing it out. It's back in the Indy zone on the far side. Tracked down by Tate Butcher. Trying to clear it out up the near side. Held in by Drobnik. Trying to get it over to Caden Cisco. Intercepted by Harrington Walker. Walker through center back into the Hendersonville zone. Takes a shot. Steered away by Smith with his right leg pad. Puck banked off the near boards, and Landon Croft couldn't keep it in his stick at center. Walker with it again. Backs up into his own zone, clears it out up the near side. It's back in the Hendersonville zone. And Christian Dickens will get to it at the inboards. Pass it around to the near side, and Caden Cisco. Cisco flips it up the near side through center, back into the Indy zone, and it's an icing. Gideon Drobnik tried to put the stick out to touch it, but he couldn't get his stick on it, so it goes for an icing. 11:15 to go in the second, 2-0 Hendersonville. Draws to the right of Smith. Won by Hendersonville. Puck cleared out to center. Nick Kloss will bring it back into the Hendersonville zone on the left wing side. Poked off his stick. Aiden Gardner with a follow-up shot. Misses the net to the right of Smith. He may have gotten a piece of it. Puck's passed down the right wing, intercepted by Christian Diggins. Now Alex Williams backhands it ahead. Oh, Caleb Carlance couldn't get his stick on it. Kloss brings it back into the Hendersonville zone on the right wing side. Shoots it through the crease. Puck it back at center. Gardner with it. Kloss has it poked away. Josh Boren brings it back into the Hendersonville zone. Shot was blocked by a Hendersonville skate. Carlance will bring it to center. Oh, Gardner dropped his stick. Here's Carlance back in the Indy zone. Going to the slot, a shot. Stopped by Busby. Rebound cleared away from the net. Cleared out of the crease by Easton Romano. Battle for the puck in the right wing corner. Coming up to the right point, held in Carlance. Carlance with a shot that would have gone over the net, but Busby gloves and hangs on to it just to be safe. 10-10 to go in the second. 2-0 Hendersonville. Draws to the left of Busby. By Hendersonville, big battle for the puck though. Indy get to it and clear it out. Here's Caleb Priest at center. Tried to pass it off to Matthew Almeida. Fell down. Here's Pachoco with a shot in the left circle of the Hendersonville zone. Off the right leg pad of Smith. Clerk attempt held in at the point by Oscar Dubon, but he's knocked down. Merrick Mott. Now Nicholas Hoffman, left wing side of the Indy zone. Leaves it for Mott. Back to the slot. Hoffman a shot. Gloved and held on to by Busby. 9:39 to go in the second. 2-0 Hendersonville. It's now 5-0 Father Ryan over Rutherford in the second. Draws to the right of Busby, won by Hendersonville, and a shot taken. Stopped and held on to by the Eagles netminder. Draw me to Busby's right again. Indy changing a couple players for it. It's won by the Eagles. Comes up to the left point. Caleb Carlance holds it in. Tries to send it down low. It was blocked. And now here's a chance for Indy. Carried to the front of the Hendersonville net. A shot. Score! It's Nick Anusatis. Anusatis blocked Carlance's attempt to pass the puck down the wall. It went out to center. Anusatis grabs it, carries it down the slot, fires it into the back of the net. And Indy on the board. It's 2-1 Hendersonville with 9:22 to go in the second. And I don't know what Carlance is arguing about. I know the goal Harrington Walker got called off. I'm still not sure why. I'm going to have to ask Seth Lake why that got called off. But the Anusatis goal stands. Here's a shot from Landon Croft, bottom of the right circle, stopped and held on to by Busby. Draws to Busby's left. Won by Hendersonville. Puck back into down low, intercepted by Oscar Dubon. Sent back into the Hendersonville zone. Caleb Carlance picks it up. It went way through the air, and Harrington Walker was hoping it'd fall down near him. Now it's back in the Indy zone, going to the inboards. Icing waved off. Landon Croft behind the net. Puck coming up the far boards. Climber stopped by Busby. Rebound on the stick of Landon Croft. Puck in the left wing corner. Here's Caden Cisco. Backhanding into the slot. Oh, Croft had to go off his stick. Sliding into the near side boards. Christian Dickens moving down the right wing. Try to go back to the slot. It's intercepted by Harrington Walker. Walker passing up the far side to Gardner. Now here's Dubon, left wing side of the Hendersonville zone. A shot knocked down by Smith. Christian Dickens picks it up, trying to send it up the far side to get it out. It's held in. Oh, but that Indy player couldn't keep it in his stick. It's cleared out by Caden Cisco. It was Bryson Patton who couldn't keep it in his stick. And here's Christian Dickens with a shot in the left point, blocked. Now it's out at center. Oh, Avery Azaminia is wearing her number 7 sweater from last year, so they have two number 7s. Oscar Dubon wearing his number 7 sweater as the puck is cleared out of play on the far side by Christian Dickens, and Avery Azaminia wearing her number 7 sweater from last year. .746 to go in the second, 2-1. Hendersonville draws to the left of Justin Smith. Draw one by Indy. Puck coming around the boards to the near side. It's cleared out and then sent back in by the Eagles. Caleb Priest. Now Sullivan Hyatt out at center. Hyatt shoots it past dumps it past the Indy net to the right of Busby from just behind the blue line. Puck held in by Caleb Priest, but then taken away and cleared out. Avery Azaminia sending it to the near side. Jill tried to go off her stick, picked up by Hyatt. Brought back into the Indy zone. Hyatt on the right wing side. Sends it up to the blue line. Caleb Priest, a shot off of Busby. Puck goes into the left wing corner. Kellen Fisher. Easton Romano pushes him away from the puck. Puck comes out to the blue line. Held in by Priest, but then he couldn't keep it in his stick. It's poked out to center by Bryson Patton. Matthew Almeida with it. Almeida. Passing it to center on the near side, Hyatt. Sends it, gets it back into the Hendersonville zone, but back into the Indy zone, but turns it over to Nick Kloss through center. Back into the Hendersonville zone on the right wing side, gets up a shot, knocked down with a glove of Smith. And then Kloss backhands the puck on goal. Smith stops and covers. 6:30 to go in the second. 2-1 Hendersonville. It's now 6-0 Father Ryan over the Rampage. Draw was to the left of Smith. Oh, but Hendersonville couldn't bring it out of the zone. It stopped on the blue line. Here's Aiden Gardner with a backhander from the bottom of the right circle that went off the outside of the left-hand side of the net. Now Caleb Carlance brings the puck to center, avoids a hit. He's in the Indy zone on the right wing side. Gets off a shot, stopped by Busby. Deflected off of Busby as it went past the net to his right. Carlance brings it back to the blue line. Passes down the right wing to Christian Dickens. Dickens fires it across to the boards. Alex Williams couldn't keep it in his stick on the left circle. He gets it back, tries to pass it back to Carlance. It was deflected out to center by Aiden Gardner. Now it's back in the Indy zone, but offside. I think Carlance may have stepped into the zone before the puck came in. 5:44 to go in the second, still 2-1 Hendersonville. They're going to drop the puck right at center. Braden Rose brings the puck into the Indy zone with a shot that's knocked down by Busby with his glove. Rose to the front of the net. Stopped by Busby, who's laying out, and the referee lost sight of the puck, so he blows the whistle. Draw's going to be to Busby's. It's the final. Nolensville beat Brentwood 4-0. Draw's going to be to Busby's left. Nolensville beat Brentwood 4-0, so Brentwood officially take the first spot in the Henry Hine Cup. Puck out at center, knocked away from Harrington Walker. Now Merrick Mott catches up to it on the far side of the Indy zone, puts it in front. Oh, it's deflected away from Braden Rose, who was right in front. Puck out at center, Walker with it again, left wing side of the Hendersonville zone. Carrying it out to the blue line. Oh, and then he lost it. And Carlance picks it up. Sends it into the Indy zone. He'll catch up to it in the left wing corner. Nick Kloss puts the body on him. Gets the puck away. But then Rose takes it back. Rose with a backhander over the net. I think Busby got a piece of it. And then Busby gets run into by Nick Anusatis and knocked down. And that causes him to dislodge the net. 4:40 to go in the second. Still 2-1 Hendersonville. Draw's going to be to Busby's right. Draw one by Hendersonville, puck behind the net. Picked up by Harrington Walker. Sends it around to the near side. And Caden Cisco able to hold it in the zone and send it back to the inboards from the right point. Now Tate Butcher gets pushed into the boards by Gideon Drobnik. Here's Walker passing it ahead to Dubon. It was almost intercepted by Drobnik right in front of the Indy net. Dubon can't keep it on his stick. Here's Drobnik moving down the right wing, backhanding it in front. Oh, Cisco couldn't get a stick on it. Puck comes to the blue line, held in Caleb Priest. His shot stopped by Busby with a right leg pad, and Tate Butcher's going to ice it. .347 to go in the second, still 2-1 Hendersonville. Draws to Busby's left. Won by Indy. Held in by Hendersonville, who's sent to the net, and Busby put out his stick to deflect it. It went just past the net to his right. He almost deflected it into his own net. Caleb Priest keeping it alive at the right point. Now here's Caden Cisco with a backhander from the right circle, gloved and held onto by Busby. Draw to the left of Busby. Won by Hendersonville, put out front, score! Sullivan Hyatt puts it out in front, and Britton Smith one times it into the back of the net, and it's 3-1 Commandos with 3:11 to go in the second. Draw one by Hendersonville. Caleb Carlance fumbling the puck at center. Aiden Gardner with it now. He'll bring it into the Hendersonville zone. Here's Arrington Walker to the front of the net. Shot it over the net from right in front. So Hendersonville unable to fumble the puck, and it almost cost him. Now unable to hang on to the puck. It almost cost him. Now here's Caleb Carlance back in the Indy zone getting knocked down in the slot. And there's going to be a penalty. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Carlance crashed into the net and dislodged it. Draw is going to be to the... Nope, it's going to be outside the zone. It's going to be on the dot in front of the bleachers across from the Hendersonville bench at center. Won by the Commandos. Sent into the Indy zone, Oscar Dubon. Passing it up the far side. And, Arrington Walker bumped into, or tripped over Merrick Mott as they cross paths, and he's going to go to the box for it. Tripping call against Walker. Hendersonville back to the power play up 3-1 with 2:31 to go in the second. Draw to the left of Busby. Won by Hendersonville. Here's Caleb Carlance. Passing it across. Caden Cisco left point. Passing it back to the blue line, Matthew Almeida. Passing down the right wing, and one time from Carlance. Stopped. Rebound. Loose in the crease with Busby out of position. But he was able to get back and make a save from the on a shot from the left circle from Cisco. Busby made that one save, but he was way out of position with about 3 Hendersonville players in front. But none of them could get a shot off. Draw to be to his right, Busby's right. Won by Hendersonville, Matthew Almeida. And passed out to the far boards, and Caden Cisco tried to go right back across to Caleb Carlance. Went off an Indy sticking out, brought back in on the left wing side by Cisco. Down to the bottom of the left circle. Tried to put it in front. Deflects out to the blue line, and Almeida moves away from Gardner. Coming down the slot. A shot, score! Matthew Almeida. From the right edge of the slot, just inside the right circle. Fires it past the glove of Busby into the back of the net to convert the power play. And it's 4-1 Hendersonville with 1:48 to go in the second. And Ravenwood and Page are going to be some angry boys. And, man, unless Indy come back, it's going to be another win over a big team that they immediately waste in the next game. I know they don't have Cash Branyon, But I don't know how much of a difference he would have made tonight. Draw one by Indy. Here's Aiden Gardner. Got the puck around the defender. Puck came to the front of the net. Jabbed away by Smith. Here's Harrington Walker passing out to the blue line. A one-timer. Oh, from Nick Clausen. He got no wood on, but then the puck came down the left circle and was one-time past the net to the left of Smith by Gardner. Now a one-timer from the left slot by Klaus is stopped by Smith, and then he makes a terrific save on the rebound by Gardner. Right leg pad saves on both. Puck back in the Indy zone. Here is Nick Klaus behind his own net. Backhanded up the boards and cleared out, but right to Caleb Priest at center. Fires it right back into the zone. Easton Romano on the far side. Final minute of the second. Here's Aiden Gardner, right wing side of the Hendersonville zone. To the net, but he couldn't get off a shot. He spins around and fires it through the top of the crease. In the bottom of the right circle. Harrington Walker back to the slot. Passes over to the right circle. Oh, back across the spot. Pachoco didn't know it was coming. He had the right side of the net wide open. Put out front. The one-timer. Point blank save by Smith. I think that was Walker. Wow. Puck cleared out of the zone by Hendersonville. Klaus at center on the near side. 30 seconds to go in the second. Puck back in the Hendersonville zone on the far side. Romano. Oh, cleared out by Merrick Mott. And we get a whistle. Too many men. We have a too many men call. Up, and we got some Hendersonville and Indy players getting in each other's faces. Mott getting in Romano's face. And it's against Indy. It's a too many men call against Indy. With 21.6 seconds to go in the second. Hendersonville back to the power play up 4-1. And it's being served. Penalty is being served by George Logazar, who walked from the bench into the penalty box. Didn't even go out on the ice. Draw's going to be to the right of Busby. Draw one by Hendersonville. There's a one-timer in the right circle, turned away by Busby. That shot coming from Caleb Carlance. Now Almeida out of the blue line with a shot knocked away by Busby. Puck on the far side, Cisco. Trying to get it down the slot. It's cleared out, and that is going to be it for the second. Nick Anusadis with a goal for Indy to bring the score to 2-1. But then Britton Smith and Matthew Almeida scoring for Hendersonville to take them back out to a 2-goal lead. And Hendersonville-Beech-Lawson now lead Independence-Centennial 4-1 at the end of 2. I'll be back in a few seconds for the start of the third. But if you are listening on the YouTube podcast, we're just going to go ahead and take you straight to the start of the third period. Ready to start the third and final period of this one. Justin Smith still in goal for Hendersonville. David Busby still in goal for Indy. For this third and final period, Indy will carry the puck from my left to right. Hendersonville from my right to left. Hendersonville with 99 seconds of power play time carrying over to the start of this third period. Hendersonville win the draw. Dump it into the Indy zone. Now it's sent back into the Hendersonville end. Actually on goal, Justin Smith having to make the save. Caleb Carlance firing it ahead to center off the stick of Gideon Drobnik. It's in the Indy zone. Caden Cisco grabs it. Puck coming out to the slot. Landon Croft couldn't get a stick on it. He's sitting on a hat trick. Cisco passing out to the blue line. Almeida back to the top of the left circle, and Cisco back to Almeida. Now Cisco passing it down the left wing to Croft. Back to Cisco, under a minute left in the power play for Hendersonville. Almeida from the blue line, a shot turned away by Busby. Here's Cisco. Almeida. Now Cisco left circle, moving in, a shot turned away by Busby. Clearing attempt held in by Almeida at the left point. Now he moves down the left wing. Backhands it out in front. It's sitting there in a backhander. Stopped by Busby with a glove. Glove save on the puck right in front. On a shot from right in front by Gideon Drobnik. Now the puck brought back into the Hendersonville zone on the right wing side. 10 seconds left in the power play for them. Hendersonville take it back. Here's Caleb Carlance to center. Ahead to Drobnik. Drobnik left wing side of the Indy zone. Passes to the slot. Oh, there was a whistle. Offside against Hendersonville. There's going to be another penalty. Offside against Hendersonville, but there's going to be another penalty against Indy. No, it's coincidentals, actually. Both penalty box doors are open. Aiden Gardner to the box for Indy. I guess no penalty against Hendersonville. So Hendersonville go right back to the power play, up 4-1 with 12:21 to go. So with Nolensville beating Brentwood, that's part one of, Caden Cisco is going into the box. Why were they put in the box? Let's see what the penalties are here. So no power play for Hendersonville. Cisco holding, and I guess Gardner for holding. Puck back in the Indy zone off the draw. Picked up and carried out by Nick Kloss. Kloss back into the Hendersonville zone. Passes to Harrington Walker. Trying to pass to the slot, and Bryson Patton off his stick into the right wing corner. Puck behind the net. Put out in front for Walker. A shot. I think he missed the net. I think it went over the net. How many times has Walker had a chance to score and not done it? He had that goal in the first period waved off, and I still don't know why. Pass to the slot, intercepted. Caleb Priest brings it to center. Now in the Indy zone on the left wing side, got knocked down. Passed out to the blue line. Christian Dickens sends it over to the right wing side. Merrick Mott will get to it. Passes back across. Nicholas Hoffman passing out to the blue line, and Priest. Now Harrington Walker out at center on the near side. Passes back across to Patton, left wing side of the Hendersonville zone. Bryson Patton in the left wing corner, passes up the far boards, intercepted and carried out to center by Braden Rose as one of the linesmen falls down. Rose catches up to the puck. Now he's got it in the Indy zone, but he couldn't get back to it after he got around Harrington Walker, got too far away from him. Walker with it now. Carries it back to center. Walker into the Hendersonville zone. Puck got away from him as he was approaching Matthew Almeida. Puck on the near side boards, Alex Williams. Passing it ahead to Carlance, left wing side of the Indy zone. Carlance holds and shoots past the net to the right of Busby. May have gone off the stick of Nick Onusadis. Puck out on the far boards. Carson Denning will clear it out. But right to Matthew Almeida at center. Across to Carlance. Carlance back into the Indy zone. Could not get around Tate Butcher. Almost kept the puck with him, but then it got away. Cleared out by Indy. Almeida with it again. Almeida passing up the far side. Tyler Ellis. Ellis back into the Indy zone on the right wing side. Ellis sends it to the inboards behind the net. Caden Lewis. Oh, Butcher keeps it away from Lewis. Butcher on the near side. Knocked into the boards by Ellis. Oh, he's going to go to the box. Ellis with a big hit on Butcher in the left wing corner, and it's going to be a head contact. And that's Ellis's night done. He's going to be sitting in the box for the rest of it. .9:58 left. Indy are going to be on the power play, down 4-1. Draws to the left of Justin Smith. Won by Indy. Nick Kloss backhands it over to the right wing boards. Harrington Walker. Walker passes out to the blue line, and Kloss passes down the left wing to Oscar Dubon. Back across to the top of the right circle, and Kloss. And a shot went past the net. Now a one-timer in the left circle, and Dubon had to be turned away by Smith. Now a wraparound try sat in the crease and was cleared out by Hendersonville. Puck back at center. Kloss. Back into the Hendersonville zone on the right wing side. Kloss trying to go to the front of the net. Shot stopped by Smith. And Christian Diggins will clear it out. Knocked down with a high stick at center by Caden Cisco. And picked up by Oscar Dubon to kill that off. Cisco, if he just let that drop, would have been on a breakaway. Puck back in the Hendersonville zone. Cleared out by the Commandos. Under a minute left in the power play for Indy. As Cisco is brought down at center and he's drawn a penalty. So there goes the power play for the Eagles. It's a tripping call. Against who? Who's going to the box for Indy? Who's going to the box for Indy? And Aiden Gardner's leaving the ice. He have an equipment issue? Did he say something? I guess he got a misconduct. Well, he would have been the one going to the box, but I guess he got a misconduct for saying something to the official. So Josh Boren is going to go straight from the bench to the box and serve the penalty, serve the 2. Hendersonville back to the power. No, I'm sorry. It's a 4-on-4 for 53 seconds. 8:51 to go in the game, 4-1 Hendersonville. Draw is to the left of Busby. Merrick Mott with it. Backhands to the slot. Braden Rose in front of shot. Knocked down by the glove of Busby. He pulls it in and covers. Man, if it weren't for Busby, Hendersonville would be whooping Indy right now. David Busby is the only reason that Hendersonville aren't winning this game like 10-1. Draw to his left again, won by Indy. Oscar Dubon. Behind the net. And turned over in front of the shot from the slot, and Merrick Mott stopped and held on to by Busby. Drawby to Busby's left again, won by Indy. Dubon. 30 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Puck carried out to center. Nick Kloss. Into the Hendersonville zone. Moves to the right wing side. Passes across the front of the net. Tried to get it to Harrington Walker, who couldn't get it in his stick. Now Braden Rose out at center. Back into the Indy zone. Shot blocked. Nick Kloss. Oh! Rose with a big hit on Kloss in the slot. He's going to go to the box for that. Here's Harrington Walker in the Hendersonville zone. Shot score! From the slot, he fires it into the back of the net. But it's going to be a head contact penalty against Rose. It's a 4-on-4 goal, and it's 4-2 Hendersonville with 8:01 to go. Walker finally puts one in the back of the net. So it's a head contact penalty against Rose. His night is done. It's going to be a very brief 4-on-3. His night is done because it's a 2 and a 10. So how many penalties did Gardner get called against him tonight? 1, 2, 3. I guess he got a 10-minute misconduct that was a fourth penalty. And Braden Rose, yep, that's his night done. Since he'd be in the box for the rest of the game. I think they're trying to figure out what to do here. Did that goal by Walker cancel out the 2? I don't think it did. So we're still having this discussion. Goals been put up on the board. The Walker goal has been put up on the game sheet. It's now 7-0 Father Ryan over the Rampage. Gage Hart with a hat trick. He scored 4 goals the other night against Clarksville. Finally looks like we're ready to restart play here. Well, we're still just standing around. Now we got 2 of the officials at the Indy bench. Let me go back and count. No, that was Gardner's 4th penalty. He got called for 2 penalties in the first and 2 here in the third. So he reached 4 penalties. He's done. That means he's suspended for Indy's next game. Hendersonville now on the power play as the penalty against them is up. Under a minute left on that power play. Yep, they got 5 skaters out there to 4 for Indy. Here's Harrington Walker taking the puck to center, trying to. He's going to back up into his own zone, be smart about it. Passes across to the near side, Tate Butcher. Butcher passes up the near side, actually ices it. And Matthew Almeida is going to get to it with 30 seconds left on the power play for Hendersonville. Stretch pass up the far side, Caleb Carlance. Right wing side of the Indy zone. Carlance to the slot, a shot stopped and held on to by Busby. 23 seconds left in the power play, 7:13 to go in the game, still 4-2 Hendersonville. Draw's going to be to Busby's left. One by Hendersonville. Caden Cisco, right circle, past the slot, Landon Croft, the shot stopped by Busby, who covers up the rebound. Again, Croft looking for a hat trick. He had 2 goals in the first. Draw be to Busby's right this time. And Indy take it and clear it down ice. Penalty time against Indy, even strength. Stretch pass up the far side, now handed off Caden Cisco. Breaks through defenders to the front of the Indy net, a backhander stopped. They couldn't get off a clean shot, and that gave Busby enough time to get ready and stop it and cover. 6:40 to go, still 4-2 Hendersonville. Draw to the left of Busby. One by Hendersonville, just held in at the blue line at the right point by Caleb Priest. Britton Smith trying to put it in front for Nick Hoffman. Went off a Indy defender. Puck comes over to the near side. Puck carried to center by Nick Kloss. Now Nick Anusatis, who's one of the 2 goal scorers for Indy. Puck comes on the Hendersonville goal. Stopped by Justin Smith. Wasn't a very hard shot. He was able to save it. Now it's fired around the wall to the near side. Nick Kloss slows it down at center. Puck back in the Indy zone. He's got it. Passes up the far side. And Oliver Weedman turns it over at center. Here's Nick Hoffman back into the Indy zone on the left wing side. Tries to drop it up top. It's intercepted and cleared out by the Eagles. I don't know a portmanteau of Eagles and Cougars for this Indy-Centennial. Here's Christian Diggins, dumping the puck back into the Indy zone from center. Now Nick Kloss backhands the puck on goal from center on the far side, stopped by Justin Smith. and he'll leave it. Oh, but Kloss almost came back in and got off a rebound shot. And now at center with it is Caden Cisco. Passes across to the right wing side of the Indy zone, Landon Croft. Sending it behind the net out to the near side. Here's Bryson Patton. Owen fumbled the puck, which rolled to the front of his own net. Busby covers. 5:06 to go. Still 4-2 Hendersonville. Draw to the right of Busby. Won by Hendersonville, and a shot from Gideon Drobnik stopped and on to by Busby. And, well, it says it's an unofficial final up at Centennial. 7-0 Father Ryan over the Rampage. If this score holds here at Bellevue, Rutherford will get the second spot in the Henry Hine Cup. Draw to the right of Busby. Won by Hendersonville. Shot from the right wing, and Croft blocked. Clearing attempt held in. Oh, but Drobnik fumbled it. Top of the slot, couldn't get around Easton Romano. Here's Harrington Walker, left wing side of the Hendersonville zone. Stops, passes to Romano, off his stick, gets away from him. And now here's Croft, backhanding it over to the right wing side of the Indy zone. Carlance puts it in front. Oh, Drobnik with a deflection, redirects it past the net to the right of Busby. Puck out on the far boards. Now here's Cisco. Had it poked off his stick. Josh Bourne with it. Carried to center by Oscar Dubon. Dubon into the Hendersonville zone on the left wing side. Dubon tried to pass across to Walker. That was broken up by Almeida. Dubon carrying the puck out to the blue line. Across to Romano on the right wing. His shot deflected by the stick of Drobnik. Almeida ahead to Landon Croft. Down the slot. Croft in front of shot. Stopped by Busby. Looking for the hat trick, and Busby said no. Now Drobnik puts it behind the net for Cisco. Cisco tried to put it down in front for Croft. Held in at the right point by Almeida. Almeida moving down the right wing of the shot. Hit Busby in the mask, I think. Puck goes out to center. Caleb Priest will get to it. Priest passing up the near side. Cisco, left wing side of the Indy zone. Since it's to the front of the net, Drobnik a shot. Stopped by Busby, who's got it under him. Got it under his legs at his right-hand post. 3:28 to go, 4-2. Hendersonville. And we have a timeout being called by Indy, I guess. Yeah, called by Indy. So even if Indy lose this game, they'll still be in the GNASH Cup race because of Station Camp's loss to Ensworth. And they'll still be in the race even if Ravenwood beat the Outlaws on Wednesday and go back into the lead. But they would then be a point away from being knocked out. Are they planning to pull Busby when they get the opportunity? I guess so. Draws to the right of Busby. Timeout done. Won by Hendersonville. A shot from Christian Dickens. Knocked down by Busby's glove, and he'll cover it up. They'll drop it to Busby's right again. Won by Indy. Harrington Walker carries it out to center. Into the Hendersonville zone on the left wing side. Stops. Waiting for some help. Past the slot. Oh, Nick Kloss couldn't keep it in his stick. Hendersonville get to it, try and clear it out. Caleb Priest fumbling it a bit. Now he'll get control, bring it out to center, dump it into the Indy zone. It would not have been on goal. It would have gone past the net to the right of Busby. He comes out to play it. Now the puck back in the Hendersonville zone on the right wing side. Busby to the bench for the extra attacker. Net empty for Indy as the puck was put out in front for Butcher, but he couldn't get a stick on it. Here's Walker. Walker passes below the goal line. Brought out in front and a backhander from Klaus. Stopped by Justin Smith. Rebound. Cleared out of the zone by Hendersonville. Cleared out of the zone, I think, by Dickens. Hendersonville will change the line. Here's Harrington Walker. Back into the Hendersonville zone on the right wing side. Walker behind the net. Brings it around to the far side. Pass out to the blue line. Oscar Dubon, a shot. Takes a deflection and goes past the net to Smith's left. Puck put out in front. And it's underneath Smith. Oh, it's in! It's in! The puck was put out in front. And it went off of somebody's stick underneath Smith and in. Well, the officials are talking about it. One of the referees said goal. Oh, they're waving it off again. For the second time tonight, Indy have a goal waved off. Draw is going to be to the right of Smith. 2:08 to go. Net still empty for Indy. I guess it wasn't all the way over the goal line. Draw one by Hendersonville. And Matthew Almeida trying to clear it out of the zone. Hits the rafters. Draw will be to Smith's right again. One by Indy. Passed up to the left point, Dubon. Shot stopped by Smith. Rebounded backhander, scores. Klaus. Klaus gets to the rebound and backhands it in. It's 4-3 Hendersonville with 1:52 to go. Busby back in net for Indy. Draw one by Hendersonville. Here's Caleb Carlance. Bringing it into the Indy zone on the right wing side. Rounded defender. Trying to get in front, and he couldn't get the shot away. Oscar Dubon carries it to center. Puck knocked off his stick right at his own blue line and dumped back in by Croft. Busby started to go to the bench, but then had to step right back into his crease. Puck passed out to center. Nick Klaus, right wing side of the Hendersonville zone. Klaus a shot, blockered away by Smith. Busby back to the bench. Net empty for Indy again. Puck held into the blue line by Oscar Dubon. Dubon with a shot, stopped by Smith. He's got it covered. Nick Klaus tried to take a poke at it. He got pushed into the boards. Are they going to call penalties for that? No, I don't think so. 69 seconds to go. Draw is going to be to the right of Smith. 4-3 Hendersonville. The net empty for Indy. Puck in the left wing corner. There's a shot in the left circle, blocked in front. Gideon Drobnik with it. Passes it ahead to Kane Cisco at center. He backhands it off the left-hand post of the empty net. Puck still in the Indy zone. We're inside the final minute of the game. Puck back in the Hendersonville end. Croft gets to it, tries to clear, gives it away to Usadis, who carries it to the front of the net, shoots it past the net to the left of Smith. Walker with a shot in the blue line, blocked. And the puck fired out to center. It went off and Indy sticking its way out, so no icing. Caden Cisco backhands it in front. It went off the skate of Butcher, comes back to Cisco, and he scores in the second rebound try. His first shot was blocked by Butcher, but then the puck comes back to him in the right circle, and he scores to make it 5-3 Hendersonville with 23.1 seconds to go. Indy with a puck. Easton Romano. Pass ahead at center, intercepted by Caleb Priest. Up, hand pass called against Hendersonville with 13 seconds to go. They're going to drop it right at center. Won by Hendersonville. Here's Nick Hoffman. Kane Lewis, left wing side of the Indy zone, past the slot, intercepted. And that's it. Hendersonville win 5-3 over Indy. And once again, Indy beat a big team, but then squander it in the very next game. So Hendersonville get their 6th win of the season and move back up the GNASH standings. And the result of this game means that the Rutherford Rampage will be playing in the Henry Hine Cup in the postseason. So everything that had to happen there happened. Nolensville beating Brentwood, which meant Brentwood will be going to the Hine Cup. Father Ryan beating the Rampage, and Hendersonville beating Indy. So we have 2 Hine Cup spots that have been locked down. As Hendersonville are now, hold on, let me go back. 6-3-1 after the win tonight, and Independence-Centennial fall to 3-5-2. And Indy-Centennial, in their 5 remaining games, they have to play Ensworth, Franklin, and MBA in 3 of their remaining 5 games. And I think they got to win at least 2 of them. I think they got to win at least 2 of them, because if they don't win either of those, they're done. I'm going to wait for Seth Lake and ask him why that first Indy goal got waved off. Hold on, he's going back to the bench. But I'm gonna go ask him why that Harrington Walker goal in the first period got waved off. All right, I'm sorry, everyone. I lost reconnection. I was tethering my phone to my laptop via USB, and I guess it stopped connecting to the cord, so I had to turn on mobile hotspot. So it's been a few minutes. But Seth Lake told me the reason that Harrington Walker goal at the end of the first got waved off, it went off the post to the left of Justin Smith, across the net, then off the post to his right and out the other side. So that's why it was waved off. And then that goal in the third near the end of the game was waved off because it didn't go all the way over the goal line. But Hendersonville win this one 5-3. And let me type out the they're still showing unofficial final for Rampage Ryan. Why? Why are they doing that? Anyway, that's what happened. We lost connection. My laptop is too old for the free Wi-Fi in here. It's a 2010 laptop. And for a bit, I was able to use an Ethernet connection, Ethernet cable from my laptop to this wall behind me with an outlet on it here on the mezzanine, but then they killed that connection last year here at Bellevue. Ugh. Hate that crap. Hate that crap. Now, let me send out. I still got to go over the goal scorers, don't I? Whew. almost done, folks. I'm almost done. All right, so the goal scorers in this one for Indy, Nick Anusatis, Harrington Walker, and Nick Kloss. For Hendersonville, 2 goals. For Landon Croft, and the others came from Britton Smith, Matthew Almeida, and Caden Cisco had the empty netter. I think he had the empty netter. Let me... Yeah, well, let's just go with the empty netter. So Landon Croft is going to be player of the game with 2 goals. As Hendersonville win this one 5-3. And that means the night in GNASH is done. So let's go over all the final scores from tonight. Franklin and Page Summit. That game ended in a 4-4 tie. Montgomery Bell beat the Clarksville Kings 8-0, so the Kings are now out of contention for the GNASH Cup regular season championship. Ainsworth-Lipscomb CPA beat Station Camp Liberty Creek Nashville Christian 6-3. Nolensville beat Brentwood BAUSN 4-0, so Brentwood take the first place in the Henry Hine Cup for the postseason. Father Ryan beat the Rutherford Rampage 7-0, and Hendersonville-Beech-Lawson beat Independence-Centennial 5-3, and that means the Rampage will take the other slot in the Henry Hine Cup for the postseason. So here are the standings with tonight's games in the books. Station Camp Liberty Creek Nashville Christian still leading the GNASH table, but they are now 8-2-0. Ravenwood 7-1-1. They have the chance to go back into the lead on Wednesday night. Father Ryan 7-4-0 in 3rd place. That was Father Ryan's last game before the holiday break. They'll be back on January the 5th. They'll take on, I think they're playing the Outlaws that night, another winnable game for the Irish. NBA Franklin and Page Summit all 6-2-2. You're going to have to separate them by goal difference at the moment because NBA and Franklin tied, Franklin and Page tied, and NBA and Page have not played each other yet. Hendersonville-Beech-Lawson after the win tonight, now 6-3-1. Nolensville 5-3-2, back in 8th. Ainsworth-Lipscomb CPA 5-3-1 in 9th. Even if they don't, man, whoever doesn't make the Preds Cup is going to kill everybody in the Hine Cup. Whoever finishes 9th in the regular season standings is just going to murder everybody in the Hine Cup. Independence-Centennial 3-5-2. Mount Juliet, Wilson Central Lebanon, and the Kings now both 3-7-0. But again, Clarksville are ahead of Mount Juliet because they beat them back in October. JPTLMLK GCS 2-5-2. The Outlaws 2-6-1. The Rampage now 1-9-1. Brentwood BAUSN 0-9-1. Again, the Kings, the Rampage, and Brentwood all out of contention for the GNASH Cup regular season championship now. And the Rampage and Brentwood are heading to the Hine Cup. They know that they will be playing in the Hine Cup in February. The schedule for the rest of this week, the usual doubleheader on Rink A at Centennial on Wednesday, 7:10. The Outlaws taking on Ravenwood. If Ravenwood win that game, the Outlaws are out. The Outlaws and Mount Juliet are out of GNASH Cup contention. And then at 8:40, JP2MLK GCS taking on Mount Juliet, Wilson Central Lebanon. Senior night for the Bears. If they win that game, if Ravenwood beat the Outlaws, again, the Outlaws and Mount Juliet are out of GNASH Cup contention. And then if Mount Juliet beat JP2, or if that game ends in a tie, then JP2 are out of GNASH Cup contention. And we're not doing either of those games on Wednesday, so let's skip to Monday. 4:45 on Rink A at Centennial. Brentwood BAUSN taking on the Outlaws. 6:30 on Rink A at Centennial. Rutherford taking on Indy. It's senior night for the Rampage. 6:30 here in the Chris Sprink in Bellevue. Franklin taking on Ainsworth-Lipscomb CPA. It'll be senior night for the Admirals. 7:40 on Rink B at Centennial. Nolensville taking on Ravenwood. 8:15 on Rink A at Centennial. Mount Juliet Wilson Central Lebanon taking on Page. And at 8:15 here on the Chris Brink in Bellevue, Hendersonville-Beech-Lawson taking on MBA. Wednesday, December 17th, on Rink A at Centennial, 7:10, Brentwood BAUSN taking on Station Camp Liberty Creek Nashville Christian. Senior night for the Bruins, 8:40 on Rink A at Centennial. Nolensville taking on the Kings. And then Thursday, December 18th, the last game of GNASH hockey in the calendar year of 2025. Ensworth taking on Clarksville at Fordyce Center in Clarksville. First of two games the Kings will play in Clarksville this season. The other will be on January 5th when they host Hendersonville in their senior night game. The only game that we're doing next week is that Nolensville-Ravenwood game, pregame at 7:35, puck drop at 7:40, and that'll be our last broadcast of the 2025 GNASH broadcast. I was about to say the last broadcast of the season. No, it's the last broadcast of the calendar year for us. And then we'll have that 2-week break, and then we'll be back on January 3rd. Before we go, I want to give a shout-out to Doctors Marty and Ron Ellis, the grandparents of Hendersonville's Tyler Ellis. They purchased the package of perks on our Buy Me a Coffee page. They are listed in the GNASH newsletter, which is published almost daily. They are getting this on-air shout-out for any and all Hendersonville-Beech-Lawson games I cover. And they're getting this and all Hendersonville-Beech-Lawson games I cover as a downloadable MP3. If you want the package of perks, or if you just want your name listed in the newsletter, go to buymeacoffee.com, buymeacoffee.com/Mid10Sportsnet, MIDTNSPORTSNET. Again, that's buymeacoffee.com/MIDTNSPORTSNET. And scroll down to become a member. $5 a month or $40 a year for the newsletter listing. $10 a month, $80 a year for the package of perks, which, again, newsletter listing, on-air shout-out for all games I do for the team that you support, and downloadable MP3s for all games I do of the team that you support. Again, that's buymeacoffee.com, buymeacoffee.com/Mid10Sportsnet, MIDTNSPORTSNET.com. And scroll down to become a member and buy either one of those. And, well, that's it. That is it for us. Our coverage this week of the penultimate week of GNASH hockey in the calendar year of 2025. Again, our on-air finals tonight, Ensworth-Lipscomb CPA 6, Station Camp Liberty Creek Nashville Christian 3, and just now Hendersonville-Beech-Lawson 5, Independence-Centennial 3. Oh, man, I really can't believe that after Wednesday we only have 1 week left of GNASH hockey in the year. And by the way, once that Outlaws-Ravenwood game on Wednesday is done, that's game 80 of the season. We'll have played 80 games out of 120. We'll have a third of the regular season left to play. And then at the end of next week's play, we'll have played 90 games. We'll have 1 quarter of the regular season to go after next week. Insane that we're getting here. About 8 weeks from tonight, I start putting rosters in the recycling because teams will start getting knocked out of the playoffs 8 weeks from tonight, as long as we don't have a bad weather event that pushes everything back. God, I hope not. All right. Time for me to stop talking. I'm Michael Hackney. Thank you all so much for listening. Good night. Have a great rest of your week and weekend. We'll talk to you next Monday night at Centennial. 7:35 pregame for a 7:30 face-off between Nolensville and Ravenwood, our last GNASH broadcast of 2025. Good night from Bellevue, everybody.